Alright, hi guys, I'm Noelle.
I'm Hannah.
And we are Femme Forward Finances, guiding young women to make smarter financial choices in college. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what it's like to work in school.
Yes.
All those fun choices and hours of minimum wage labor. But before we start, we're going to do a little icebreaker. Our names, again, what we're studying at UNC Charlotte, and what we're drinking. You want to go first?
So I'll go first. My name is Hannah, and I'm a sophomore here at UNC Charlotte. I'm studying political science and criminal justice with a minor in data science.
She's a woman in STEM, Loki.
Yeah.
I'll
hand it over to you.
What are you drinking?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm drinking some water because you gotta stay hydrated.
My name's Noelle. I'm a senior here at UNC Charlotte. I'm majoring in history and have a minor in writing, rhetoric, and digital studies. I'm also drinking water because originally we were supposed to get boba.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I looked at my bank account. But that's what we're going to be talking about today, right?
We're just girls, you feel me?
Yeah. We don't, if you are also in a position of, you're like, wow, I want to get boba, but I don't have money, I need to get a job, we're here to give you some advice, some good counsel.
Sometimes it's just okay to get water,
You know, water's free.
It is.
Save your money. First off, Hannah, I'm going to ask you our first question. We're going to be talking a bit about how do you even fit a part-time job into your schedule when you're a college student? So Hannah, can you tell us a little bit about how you decided, like, when you were going to work, how to fit it in? What do you have to, also film, like, a podcast?
Mine was kind of like a crazy story because when I first was coming into college, like, all I could hear was people saying, don't work while you're in college, you're going to be distracted, you just need to focus on your books and stuff like that. Yeah. But, like, once I got in, I noticed a lot of times I had free times.
Yeah.
Where my friends were also in class and I had nothing to do. Like, I already did my study, I already did my assignments. I'm going to have time to spend with my friends later on, but right now I don't have anything to do, so why not fit something else that could make me some extra bucks? And I realized at the time that I had federal work study, and I had declined it. And I was like, I looked on Hire Niner, and then I found a job. I did the interview, and I got it. And it was $12. And I was like, if I can make some extra bucks while I'm doing nothing, and they're working around my schedule, why not just do it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So was that job, was that the work study?
Yes, it was work study.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the work studies, because we're going to bring that up later, but I'm glad that you, have actually done work study. So, what is that?
So, work study is a kind of scholarship that the federal government gives you. It's kind of a scholarship, but, instead of, working to pay the school directly, the money comes to your bank account so you can use it for whatever, But most people don't accept federal work study because it's a limited amount of money. Sometimes they give you $4,000 and it's divided into 2 semesters, so you just do $2,000. And I feel like that is a good amount of money to start with in college because what else what are you possibly getting? So I started out with that, and I started out with $12. Wasn't bad.
That's pretty good. That's definitely above minimum wage. Good. So they said that an advantage of a work study for our audience, as you said, they work around your schedule. So I guess when do you schedule your times to work? Do you work in the mornings, between classes, on the weekends? What does that look like for you?
So most on-campus jobs, depending on what you get, I work at the International Student Scholar Office. So we work during Monday through Friday. So I can only work during a school day. So I work after class or any little time that I have in between my schedule. I just kind of fit work in because at work also during federal work study, depending on the job that you have a lot of time to also work on your school assignments and stuff. So I feel like it's very flexible. I like that about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think a pro tip, like Hannah just said, if you can, find a job on campus, I know here, Area 49, which is, a part of our library, if you're working the front desk, you can definitely, get some assignments done. So if you're, really pressed for time, but you really need to get a job, definitely find one that's a little bit, laid back. Yeah, if you can find that, and that can kind of help you, multitask, if you will. So yeah, I guess our last question on this point, Hannah, how do you manage that work-life balance? Just even with classes and then work, and then, you know, being a girl.
I feel like when I first started out, it was like kind of very easy because I just do class, then work, then go back home. It was like a routine, so I was used to it.
Yeah.
But then I realized that as growing up, like I'm a sophomore now, I'm trying to get more internships in.
Yeah.
So once I added internships in, I'm trying to manage my own campus job.
Yeah.
And then my internship, it became a lot.
Oh,
but I feel like it's all a mental thing, and if you plan out your time, like use your to-do list. Calendar will help you out. Like plan out your whole day. I feel like you'll be good. And like you only like schedule as much as you think you can take, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really a mental thing when it comes to like balancing stuff.
Yeah.
It's really just, yeah.
It's like if you're looking at your schedule and it's all time blocked out and you're like, this is going to be too much, I can't get through the day, then you feel like,
And make sure you always like set time away from everything and take time for yourself, because it can be a lot. So just remember that, to do that for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned internships. We're going to get back to that later, y'all. So I know y'all have questions. I know you're like, what about these internships? But yeah, thank you, Hannah.
You're welcome.
For that experience, for sharing with us.
Okay, so from your perspective as a commuter,
yes, I am a commuter.
What do you think about all of this?
Yeah, being a commuter, so for context, I drive 40 minutes to get to school.
40 minutes?
40 minutes one way. Yeah, on I-77. Can be an hour.
Can do it.
Yeah, I think the scheduling thing, like you were talking about, Hannah, was really huge for me to find out, but also I think figuring out where I wanted to work. Did I want to work in my hometown? Did I want to work on campus in Charlotte? And I think all of these things are kind of like tied together as well. Of, like, can I find a job that will be flexible for like what the days that I can't work? So yeah, I guess kind of, I think the big thing that I figured out was like where I wanted to work. And I think a big, I guess the first thing you kind of like filter through is like, where do you want to work? Like, do you have a car? If you don't,
that's a big one.
Yeah, if you don't, you gotta find an on-campus job. If you do, are you willing to commute? How far are you willing to commute? And also, honestly, like, what do you want to do? Like, I had a lifelong dream of being a barista, so I immediately applied to a coffee shop, and I got the job. So yeah, I think also it's like if you like really like want to be that girl and you want to make your little coffees, just like apply to a coffee shop. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Try to look.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like the first thing you can find. But yeah, I think also factoring in like again the schedule and how flexible it is. But also a big thing is like the pay. Which is like, you know, the whole
that's
point.
That's a very big thing, because I feel like when most people are looking at jobs right now in college, they want something that's paying more, but sometimes we got to think about it.
Yeah.
Like, some jobs just, you know, like my on-campus job, for example, I'm getting the experiences that I'm going to need in the long run. So just because of $12 is not like where I would want it to be, I would still take that because it's an opportunity and they work around my schedule. I feel like you just needed to look at what's working for me now versus long term. Like, just be concerned about the now, because I feel like most people are concerned about most people get internships and getting big money. I understand it. Just know it's like it's not a race. Just take your time.
Oh yeah, that's so good. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because I even like thought like, I don't know, I think when we think about like part-time jobs, we're just like whatever like food or retail you can get thrown into. But yeah, if you can find a job that is like semi-related into the field or the career that you want to go to. Like, I have a friend who is in pre-nursing and she's looking into a job to be the front desk at our student health center, and I think even that exposure into like the medical field looks really great on a resume. So top tip from our girl Hannah here, don't forget that, don't forget about that. But yeah, I think the pay is like, again, is the experience worthwhile compared to the pay, which we will talk about when we get into our internships in just a second. But also, yeah, just like kind of shop around, if you will. Like, I got a job at a coffee shop, and like, I'm gonna be honest, the base pay was $7.75. I didn't know that. I thought it was $11. But we factored in credit card tips and cash tips, and like with tips, sometimes like I was averaging about like 12 to like maybe 15 an hour, depending on the holidays. So yeah, you just kind of like decide decide what you're willing to do. Would you rather get paid more but have, like, you know, a work schedule that's harder to work around?
Yeah.
It's just kind of evaluating those pros and cons. But yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I know that when you said that you were looking at a job, you were thinking about where, like, as far as if it was your hometown or on campus. So why did you choose somewhere that you chose to commute to? Because if you're driving 40 minutes down here, wouldn't you want to look for something that's on campus so you can spend all your day here and then go back home? Or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, and that also kind of boiled down to a financial aspect, which I'm really glad you brought up. I decided to work a hometown job, just one, for, like, again, that work-life balance. Like, driving was pretty exhausting. But also, two, I had already had my class schedule so that I was only on campus 2 days a week.
Okay.
And I figured that because I wasn't going to be in Charlotte a lot, I would have to be driving more just for work, and that is gas money. Gas money is a real thing.
It is.
So, I mean, like, if I had a class schedule where it's, like, I had, like, one class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 2 classes Tuesday, Thursday, oh, yeah, I feel like working would have made way more sense because I'm already spending that gas to get here. So I might as well get, you know, my bang for my buck, if you will, by, like, working here, and maybe I could have gotten paid more. But, yeah, that's a really good question. So, yeah, I think the whole job situation is just very, like, individual and tailored to you. I think you just kind of have to identify what you care about and what you're willing to compromise on and
Most
not
definitely.
compromise.
Yeah.
Getting to our a hot topic. Take it away, Hannah. We're having way too much fun.
I know you guys have been waiting for this. Internships. It's definitely a big part of your college life because you do need those those professional experiences in your life, especially in college, and it's really a big thing now for Gen Z.
Oh yeah,
it's really a big thing. And if you're on LinkedIn, oh my god,
I don't want to talk about LinkedIn.
Those posts get me depressed.
Guys, drop your LinkedIn in the comments. Connect with each other, okay?
I know you guys
connections.
need to. But yeah, internships definitely a big thing, but also it's not a race.
Yeah.
Once again, guys, you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Right now, just build up, like, cause before you even land your first internships, they want to see that you're doing something outside, like those little part-time jobs that you're having is gonna build experiences for you to land that first internships.
Yeah.
But some people are lucky enough to land their first internship without no, like, work experience. But I feel like just kind of starting off slow, like in your freshman year, would be very great. And just kind of like exploring what's out there for you and preparing yourself for that internship would be great. You can look up internships in your field.
Yeah.
I know that Higher Niner is like a great resource. And also the Career Center. You can go in, like, they have drop-in hours. They can look at your resume. They'll give you tips and advice on what to do. I know you can actually even speak with a career coach.
Yeah.
Or they could sometimes email you about internships in your field. Or, like, your major advisor, they'll, like, normally email you about internships that's happening in your field. And what you can do to, like, gain one.
Yeah, and y'all, you pay for them. Your university tuition, whether you're at UNC Charlotte and can do Higher Niner and the Career Center, any kind of career, I guess, like, consultation department that they have, y'all are paying for it. So you might as well use it.
Definitely. Most definitely.
So, yeah, really good advice, Hannah. What has been your experience in, like, you know, dipping your toe into the internship world? As a working woman.
It can be a lot. It can be a lot. But once you get started, I feel like you have a great, like, team to help you. Because I know for me, I went through, like, a internship company where they kind of pair you up with, like, people in, like, your related field.
Yeah, do you know what the company is called?
So it's called Guardhouse. They come to the career fair, so be out there with your resumes.
Yeah. And we will have it on our website, too.
So, yeah.
So
they gave me my first internship, and it was actually not something that was in my related field. But I took it because an internship is an internship, and you can gain experience doing anything.
And those soft skills are more valuable than you think.
Yeah. So I've always been interested in business, so that's why I took an opportunity on that. So my first internship was like a business internship, and it was really new to me because it was business, and it wasn't really something that was like I was fascinated about. But like, I took a chance on it. Yeah. And I got to, like, build the skills for something else, you know?
Yeah.
Like, also networking.
Networking. Capital with a capital N.
They always say it's not about what you know, but the people that you know.
That is true.
Please.
That is genuinely
Network. Build those connections for LinkedIn. That will get you places, because just by having that talk with somebody, you can ask them to be your mentor. If like they know how good you are, they could refer you when somebody else comes to them and asking for somebody to fill a spot in their company. So those networking positions, just do it.
Yeah. Also be nice to people. Like
very.
Just be kind.
Yeah.
That network is important.
What about you? What gems do you have to drop for my lovely people about internship?
So I think something as like a history major, because someone in liberal arts, I kind of have the expectation that a lot of internships aren't going to be paid. And, like, unfortunately, that is just genuinely, like, reality of, like, internships, which is why we bring it up in this episode of, like, can internships, like, pay me money? And the answer is maybe, depending on where you go, what jobs you get. Like, I know if you're in comp sci, almost all of the internships are paid. But if you're, like, in a liberal arts field, it might be a little bit more competitive. So just a disclaimer. However, internships can still be worthwhile if you get them to count as academic credit.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You might as well like get experience, and that means that's one less class you have to take, which means you can balance out with your other classes. And if you're like Hannah, still have to work a job because it'd be like that. But yeah, I did 2 remote internships through this program called the Virtual Student Federal Service.
Okay.
So basically a bunch of like federal government workers kind of like send out these like projects that they have interns like sign up for, and like send your resume in, interview and whatnot. What I really liked about it is that it was fully remote, which is really good, especially like if you feel like you're in a town where you can't find any internships that are local, or you need that schedule flexibility if you're working a part-time job, or you just like don't want to have to go into an office and you want to work from bed. It was 10 hours a week. It was it was unpaid, and it was remote. But yeah, internships was definitely not something that I kind of thought could pay me money, unfortunately. But again, that will look different depending on what opportunities are available. So again, keep scouring LinkedIn, ask your professors, ask your career center. And yeah, even some, this is a quick little note, but there are even some classes that can count as internships. Like there's one here for our Shar Laws Festival. So you can also like, you can find internships anywhere and everywhere.
And the career fair is like a great resource. Just print out some resumes, go out there and network. Talk to as much people that you can, because you don't know who's out there that can help you. And also a great resource is Handshake, because I know once you...
Ooh, okay. Drop these websites, these programs.
It's a great one because recruiters can actually personally like reach out to you if there's a position. If like there's summits, conferences, like they'll just reach out to you and they'll be like, oh, I think you're a great person for this position. Here's the link. Apply. Handshake.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, write it down. Guardhouse, Handshake. That's kind of the rundown on internships. A little like tangent, but I think it's also important to think about because it's like, a job, I need money, but I also need money in the future, and how am I gonna get there? Things of that nature. So, Hannah, before we leave the lovely people of the Fem Forward Finances community, do you have any last words, comments?
I would say, what do you do with that money that you get?
Oh,
like, that's something that I feel like we should have touched on too.
We're touching on it right now.
But most definitely, don't blow that money. Don't blow it. In college, I know you need to get a new hairstyle, your nails done, but it's not.
Your boba, your little sweet treats.
But it's like you just gotta sit down and think about how you spending money like ridiculously is gonna affect you in the long run. Like I feel like just right now in Gen Z, you can learn to do a lot of stuff by yourself. Press-on nails, girl, go get some press-on from Walmart.
They're cheaper.
They're cheaper and affordable. So
thrift stores. Get out of H&M. This is for someone. Get out of H&M right now.
You know you don't need that much clothes. Your closet cannot fit that much clothes on campus. So come on, what are you getting more clothes for? And I feel like we need to be more conscious about getting influence on like social media. It's an actual thing. Come on.
Get de-influence, guys. We're here to de-influence you.
You don't need that extra bathing suit that they're posting about. You have some more already in there. So just kind of like be very more conscious about your money decisions and think about like what your long-term goals are and what you want to achieve in life. So don't just focus on the now and just blow out the money that you're receiving for these internships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, think about it before you spend that money.
Savings. Maybe maybe
Budget.
your laptop's gonna give out. You're gonna get your car needs to be fixed. But yeah, Hannah, you really kind of touch on some good starter points for our audience to get thinking about. If y'all are a budget, that scares me. I need to know more. We have some posts on our Instagram page at FemForward Finances. We kind of have these cute little infographics of how to budget and what are some budgeting apps and resources, and of course our website femforwardfinances.com. You can learn more about, because that could be a whole episode podcast series in of itself. Honestly.
Stay tuned for more.
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, I'm Noelle.
And I'm Hannah.
And we're FemForward Finances. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.